welcome to the episode 16 recap of Big Brother Canada Season 2. If you haven't caught my last two episode recaps, then you wouldn't know about the contest I'm running. Basically, make sure you're a subscriber, comment on any video, and tell me why you like watching my recaps and what I can do to improve my videos. I will randomly pick a name out of a hat, and that person will win anything from the Big Brother Canada or Amazing Race store at a value of $25 or less. Alright, back to the recap. The episode kicks off with what we saw in the last episode, which was Heather nominating Kenny and Allison. John explains the alliances in the house and that Allison is in the middle of everything, so he's hoping he can get her to come on his side. Heather and Allison are talking in the HOH room, and Allison tells Heather about the first five alliance. Heather basically had a dumb look on her face and made it seem like she was just blindsided, but later says that she had a feeling that they were all working together. Yeah, okay. Kenny, Sarah, and Sabrina are worried they are losing Allison because if Allison joins the other side of the house, the first five alliance won't have the numbers anymore. Heather tells John, Neda, and Adele that Allison wants to build her trust with Heather. Neda brings up the fact that Arlie is 100% pretending with the first five alliance, and they are all giddy at how perfect it is in having Arlie on their side while getting all the details from the other side. The fact is, you can't really trust Arlie. He could easily stay with the first five and spill all the beans about John, Neda, Heather, and Adele, and the other team wouldn't even know. Arlie is dangerous. The players playing in the veto competition are Kenny, Allison, Heather, Arlie, Sabrina, and Rochelle. Heather picked John as the host of the competition. Obviously, the players playing in the veto are definitely an advantage for Kenny, as the three players picked could easily use the veto on Kenny. Kenny is pretty happy with it, of course, but John is dropping some F-bombs. The POV players are dressed up as miners, and the competition is called Yukon Gold. The object of the game is to fill your bucket up with dirt, which will have Scrabble pieces. And once you sift out all the dirt, you have 20 minutes to make the longest word. Whoever has the longest word not only wins the veto, but they win a Yukon Gold History Prize Pack. Oh my god. First up is Allison, and she never ended up finding a vowel, so the only thing she could spell with the letters she had was cry. Yeah, sorry sweetie, that's not gonna cut it. Next up is Rochelle, and she spells crest. Sabrina spells shocks. Arlie spells farting. Kenny is up, and he spells shocking. Heather is last up, and she needs to beat Kenny's 8-letter word. And she does not. Well, she tied it, but that's because she spelled wishful with 2 L's at the end. When it's only one, therefore, Kenny has won the power of veto. Should have backdoored him. Sarah was super excited that Kenny won, and she certainly got the house guests to see it, as she wouldn't stop hugging him. Kenny and Sarah are now worried that it has put a target on Sarah's back to be the replacement nominee. Arlie tells John that Sarah needs to go up. That excitement from her was the last straw, and this doesn't come out of left field. Remember in the last episode where both Arlie and John said they are trusting Sarah less and less? Well, her celebration with Kenny was the nail in the coffin. Kenny visits Heather and tells her that she should put up John. Heather is obviously working with John, so yeah, that's not gonna happen, Kenny. Kenny then promises Heather he won't go after her for 1 week, which is a rather weak deal. And then he tells Heather how important Sarah is to him. Well, Kenny, you might treat Heather like an idiot, and you might hate her so much, but these things are not blowing past her. John tells Heather that Arlie wants Sarah out, and Heather is glad that her alliance members want the same thing as her. Allison mentions that whenever things in the house change, it's for a reason. She notices the flowers by the chairs in the corner upstairs have changed, and she finds a clue. The first clue reads, "Make a splash." So, Allison heads to the swimming pool, where she finds a hockey puck at the bottom of the pool. She rips off the next clue, and it says, "Go somewhere hot when you're cold." Allison now heads to the hot tub, and she finds the next clue. Okay, she's almost there. It says there may be some walls up around the house, and in this situation, it's best for you to flip them. Read it like a book from left to right, then find 1 and 3, and you will be out of sight. I would so fail at this task. I hate riddles. Anyways, Allison finds the secret door under the stairwell, and it leads her to the secret room she was in at the beginning before entering the house. Arissa tells her that there is a hidden power of veto, and the next clue had something to do with the venting system in the room, and Allison would need to tap something 3 times. She taps a vent 3 times, and this vent pops up from the ground, and she grabs the veto. Arissa comes back on the TV and says the veto is good for the next 3 nominations, and can be used after the regular veto has been used. If Allison mentions to anyone that she has this veto, or brings up the secret room, she will be evicted immediately. When Allison leaves the room, she doesn't look back to close the door, so she just kept walking, which was a little bit risky, because anyone could have walked by and saw that door move, but luckily, no one saw. Kenny and Arlie are having a talk about Sarah going home. We all know it's Arlie who will have the deciding vote, but Arlie wants to see if Kenny will believe him when he says that Sabrina is the one that is going to flip. Kenny doesn't buy it, and he has a huge feeling that it's Arlie. So Kenny meets up with Sabrina, Sarah, and Rochelle and tells them that Arlie has flipped. Arlie joins their chat, and Kenny continues to bring up trust and loyalty in hoping that Arlie gets the message. Before the veto ceremony goes down, Kenny says that if Heather puts up Sarah, then he will go after Heather next week. And Allison is trying to figure out if she should use her veto, because if she doesn't and she goes home, well, that's going to haunt her for the rest of her life. The veto ceremony goes down, and of course, Kenny has used the veto on himself, and Heather has put up Sarah. That's your episode 16 recap. Don't forget, the next episode will be a double eviction. I can't wait. If you like my recap, click the thumbs up below. If you have something to say, let me know. And lastly, don't forget to subscribe.